Okay, so I did get the first report I've ever gotten from him that he was having any type of aches and pains. He said he thinks he pulled a muscle in his back. I mean, I don't know if it's from the other night when he had to lift her up or it's from the radiation. Right? It's just really now you actually have an ache and pain. Okay. Your dog seems to be okay from what I can tell, but it probably varies from person to person. Right? Just my upper back has been bothering me, but some of it has to do with the amount of standing and walking I do, and whether or not I have proper footwear when I'm doing that. And stress, and just when I'm in the bed like that, and I'm kind of like hunched over typing, because sadistically insane people decided I can't live stream because they want me to have wrinkles. So that's the type of mentality that people are dealing with right now. Is everyone, the sane, the insane, uh, Oz, other species, doodle bops, um, wheat, criminals, innocents. But, so, anyways, um, people make a dominance stance that's irrational. I mean, you can get an understanding of it from listening to her. Even just getting a diaper off, it becomes a battle, right? So I explained it. I think eventually people will just take matters into their own hands, and it will be at a point when God deems that that can happen with everyone else still under control. And then I still feel that the easiest way to deal with it is just the stipends because people can pay rent if they need to or get a tent. I don't know what the situation is with purchasing trailers and things anymore. And then after that, clearly, as I stated, I believe that the people uh, with holding on to housing like that, they'll perish, they will die. Like the people that won't stop storming into homes that don't have mortgages and things. Okay, things like that. I don't see how on God's green earth there's a lack of building structures for people to be occupying. I explained it on Milton Street. I don't know if that's still going on. And then apparently one of the things they turned into a daycare because they have to keep nullifying everything I say and prove me wrong. Because even a building with water pipes going to it, some people can, if it has sewer and water going to it, there are people that know how to just set up a shower and a toilet. Okay, get my drift. And then whatever it is people have to do for cooking. So I can't really. And then you have this whole thing here that I explained too. I would assume they'd have a toilet in there. I don't know about showers, but once you have water and sewer going to a building, okay, it's just that type of thing. Some of it is people want to keep their world going, uh, right? So, um, yeah, it's just clearly there are people that will not stop decimating other people. Okay, so just it's an atrocity. There was never a meaning or a reason for it, but just they thought that they could. Okay, so anyways, then the rest of the Passover will clearly people shouldn't be under this type of stress. There's a lot of people that are dealing with the family members that are dying, and they shouldn't have to also be thinking now that they're going to end up street homeless because of the rents and the mortgages. That's why you were told day one the housing, and then you had people storming into homes. Even my own house was taken. Okay, so that's why. So there's certain behaviors, and then obviously you're going to have to deal with your situation with the fuel. Okay, this is the phase out area. You have public transportation. There's not a reason for it other than the things I explained. So the second that people become concerned about all the driving and stuff, they need to address these other matters. Okay, you were told several times, yes, we will all die to get rid of you. Not you're freeing yourselves and holding people prisoner. You're not doing it. Okay, so So people that can't live unless they're holding prisoners will die. It's almighty. And their prisoners will die. Some people just sicken and die so that you don't have a prisoner anymore, just like in Germany with the typhus. Okay. So then you've murdered off your entire family for no reason because all of your prisoners died. And then you still have to deal with all of your world problems, and most of you are now brain injured by the thermonuclear weapons and the strokes and the dying brains. So, um, reiterate again in terms of things that don't work. Okay, and most of the people are complying, from what I can tell. There's not a fury of shopping going on. Um, Uprisings, wars, um, burning down buildings. Some of these things just cause your running water and your electricity to be shut off. You don't want that. And then you still can't walk anywhere. So that's pointless to do. Okay. They destroyed a walking program repeatedly. I'm the pedestrian, and you won't stop trying to murder me. You refuse to give me housing for 13 years. You refuse to return my children to me, and you refuse to approve a stipend for me to live on. Okay, so ever at any given time, if there was a confusion, which I felt there clearly must have been, where you were being paid to murder me and not you were being paid to put me in housing. Okay, like when the governor and lieutenant governor showed up at Father Bill's place, Quincy, and gave you $4 million. Okay, so clearly, eventually, people out in Quincy will tire of it, like I explained in 2022, and go, the second that you're ready to go and take those people out of there, you'll let other people know because there's no way that they can care for, what is it, 120 homeless people? So they're criminally insane. So, anyways, I wouldn't say I'm willing to do that now. That was it almost 2 years ago now. But I'm explaining that clearly there's people available that are actually willing to help. So that aren't special friends and get the car rides for the hair coloring and see your apartment and things. Okay, really. So, um, sometimes people will depersonalize, like I told you repeatedly. Charges fell. No matter what is going on, they're controlling it and they're good guys when they're the literal criminals. So you just wait for them to die. I just trust the Almighty that the course of people dying is in the timetable that it's supposed to be. But yeah, you can strain your back from picking up a person of that size. So it's important to make sure she doesn't fall again. Excuse me. Uh, One way they can probably tell that people are in a persona is when they don't admit that the reason why they took possession of a person was so that they could pay for their truck and a four-bedroom house. Right? Just if you thought it was weird to go, you really want to, do this, that, and the other because this person pays the rent. Like if you thought that that was weird, okay, that's called being honest. I don't use a persona. Sometimes you have to sort of zip a lip so you don't get attacked, but it's not a persona. Anyways, clearly that's the only reason I'm here is because I have no way to live somewhere else. That would be like insane to be saying any other reason that I was here. So, anyways, the people with the thermonuclear weapons don't agree with the new system. Okay. Many of those people have children and grandchildren. Like they don't agree with the new system where the most attractive person in a genetic pool is loses 6 minors in her house so that she can be sort of bounced around and stuff. And then people try to turn her into a slave, or they just want to kill her because she's too pretty. They don't believe in the new system of 47 them days in the wrong address and paperwork, and we don't know anything about a kidnapping, and Casey DeSantis and Al Gore working at the Golf Channel. So, and then outlawing Florida alimony, and then still trying to ignore that that's going on. They're basically like risk assessments, okay, for the people with the thermonuclear weapons. If people were wondering, it's difficult when you don't listen, and I don't know if you're again being blocked from viewing me. But I don't know how many of them were told that he worked at the Golf Channel, but they know what his name is. I mean, it just seems right. I'm sure people in the genetic family know where Al was working. Okay, so what are the thoughts there? Is it similar to the people out in Quincy where that means that it's some sort of like secret agreement to be holocausting me, or it's a further deeming of a population to be guilty of crimes against humanity and treason? Like, what does it seem like with the weird weather and the Okay, well, one of the things that happens with the radiation is that your joints and your ligaments can become all whacked out. Like I pretty much lost use of my arm for about 6 months last winter. And then when I went out to Quincy, I met 3 other females that had the same exact thing happen. So it's not some sort of an injury. Like clearly, if you stress it, it's going to make it worse. So, like, you couldn't even lift your arm like this. And then even just to do your hair. So, I don't know if she's got something like that going on with her legs right now because it does affect your knees. I've had that happen, but I've never had, I couldn't like stand up and walk. That's never happened, but it will get worse the less you move around. Okay, it's just something that believe it or not, um, it flares up and then it goes away at times and flares up again. My knees were bothering me a little bit yesterday, but no, I don't have any of that today. I had a little bit of the have to crack up in here. That's been going on for what, since the summertime? That's been going on since July. Okay, just every, not every day, but it's, off and on frequent. I can tell it feels like muscle tension, it like this, and then when I crack it, it goes away. So it's a little bit different than the arm, because my arm still function. That was the worst. I would say that was the worst of all of them. You will eventually get lung cancer. Yeah. So clearly, there's going to be a lot of people passing away or passing on from lung cancer because the campaign has had to go on this long because the people, the criminals, will not give in to the demands. Okay. Like at this point, I don't know because I'm not a scientist, and it's up to God in terms of when it all sort of ends, and then you just the next phase of the Passover continues. Okay, because clearly there's going to be so much of it that it makes sure that a species cannot rebirth. There's so many genetic mutations that happen when your ovum is nuked like that. Okay, only people in the safe zone for a period of time, but it's not like people won't be able to live here. It's just it takes a while for nuclear fallout to break down. But like it takes, if you know, ever heard anything about a nuclear half-life and stuff. So there'll be people that, because they have this in Chernobyl apparently, where they seemingly seem unaffected by it. Okay, so not the initial constant ionizing radiation and the radon in the air that we're all breathing in. That's not what I meant. I meant people that are rebirthed in the safe zone after this campaign is over. So I don't know if that's what happened with Chernobyl, if they initially evacuated and then went back to their home. So, right, not you're impervious to nuclear material. That's not what I meant. So sorry for the confusion. If people thought that, that is not what I meant. That's why there's a safe zone. There better be. There better be a safe zone, or people didn't know do what they were told. Uh, so I would assume they were probably given several decoys, and then because what I could tell happened with Florida, they were never told Florida was a safe zone ever. It's fully in the agreement, and then they just piled up trailers all over. It's just absolutely shocking and disgusting. Absolutely shocking. Those people didn't know that my children were there. Really? Okay. Well, some people would say you really do deserve to die. Absolutely. I mean, that is just that is pretty disgusting to flock to a state where you believe 6 minors are being held hostage there, as I'm being held hostage up here. So many people would say you really deserve to die, and probably 6 now adults who should feel fully confident of a rebirth and a new body as human beings. So a big error. Big, big error. And they would probably say that too. I mean, could you imagine used to be MLK just going, you actually thought that the Virgin Mother was somehow collateral damage and expendable? So this is a safe area? Holy Mother of God. Wow. Is it because I'm not of childbearing age? I was 39 when I came up here, by the way. I was still of childbearing age, but I had a tubal ligation, and I have been celibate since 2010. So it reiterates just deranged monkey minds where a female has no meaning when she's not producing offspring anymore. It's not even about the sex. 39 is not old. Okay, so you actually felt that that was a safe zone because of 6 of my children, but not up here? Some people assumed up here that's why they've held me hostage for 13 years. Get a grip on yourselves. That's why they did it. They thought that meant we wouldn't get nuked. You're holocausting people here. I've seen it with my own eyes. Well, if you thought this was a safe zone, you need to take it out with the people running the shelter system, running HUD, running Social Security, and the DTA office. Because I thought this was a phase out area where medical would be provided, and that can't even happen because of the treatment of me and others. Okay? That is really just disgustingly, criminally deranged. But it's fascinating that some people thought after, what was it, that hurricane in Puerto Rico? These people are not all Puerto Ricans. Give it a rest. They literally thought that 6 miners, well, that must be what it is. Why are they all dying up here now because they won't stop holding me hostage? I don't know who's sicker. I guess it makes more sense to me that you would think that you would hold me hostage and not 6 miners that are my offspring. Like they got a handle somehow in their mind, as weird as it is, about, I don't know if it was because of the military, if it is it because of James Ernest, or you actually understood the Virgin Mother. They're not going to kill the Virgin Mother. They will kill the Virgin Mother. Yes. Okay? Because this is not the safe zone. And I'm sorry, I did everything I could since 2011, everything within my ability, um, as an innocent person that would never have imagined that it would come to this. In this cycle, that's just the way God does it. But clearly, in previouses, I knew that it would come to this. And I've given instructions now explaining the insane dominance that goes on to the literal death. Okay, so apparently for many, death it shall be. So, anyways, we're not living on planet Earth in the planet of the apes. So, ever in any given time, people have questions. I don't even care if their questions are not in a calm manner. Maybe not right up to my face, but you have the media, which you've had for 13 years, and I watch some of it and I read some of it. Uh, right, or you're just gonna keep trying to run around and duck and roll the lava flow. That's, I guess, fine, since in terms of Almighty, I don't think it's really going to make too much difference in terms of timing as to when this bullshit ends.